All right, go ahead, take it.
I kind of wanted your tomatoes.
Stephanie should.
Oh, you should have just asked me. I would have.
Yes.
You could have picked as much as
Okay.
you wanted.
Hello, and welcome to the Monday, October 22nd meeting of the Green Bay Planning Commission. First item would be roll call. Tim Gilbert, Chair, is present.
Sydney Bremer, Vice Chair, is present.
Alder Veronica Corpus Dax.
Present.
Commissioner Lisa Hanson.
Present.
Commissioner Jacob Miller.
Present.
Commissioner Randall Petrowski.
Present.
And Commissioner Jerry Wisbiski.
Present.
Thank you. Next item, approval of the agenda.
Yeah, if you'd like to move that up first, I think some of the other bids were at the
Oh, I guess they
EP
are.
meeting.
Oh,
We're all downstairs.
Okay,
Okay.
go back and forth.
We're just missing.
All right.
Then move approval of the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bremer and a second by Commissioner Petrowski to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is approved. Next item, approval of the minutes of the October 8th meeting of the Green Bay Planning Commission.
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Wisbiski, and second by Alder Corpus Dax. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that is passed. Next item, regular business, item 1. Consideration with possible action on the request of Downtown Green Bay Incorporated for approval of their 2019 Business Improvement District Operating Plan.
So just a reminder for all of these, that these are just required by law for the Planning Commission to review. So we've got all 4 of our bids here. The presentation that I have just has their mapping areas, so if you have any questions about the boundaries that they have, but each person will be here to present their own operating plan if there are any changes to that, and then what they've done in the 2017 as the year in review sort of thing. Typically we do those in February, but we missed that this year, so you're getting next year's operating plan and then a review of everything accomplished in 2017 this year.
Thank you.
Jeff, you're up.
Am I up? If it's all right, it might be helpful, if you don't mind, if this could come to you in no particular order. We were asked to give an update of 2017. So I want to give to you, that's a 2017 report for both downtown and Old Main Street. And then I also wanted each of you to have just an indication of some of the types of materials we put together for people who are moving downtown or businesses coming downtown. So if you want to just start off with the 2017 downtown report, and I'll just make a few comments. I'm not going to read this to you, but I think you'll find it helpful to see. I said.
Thanks very much.
I know.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, I'm assuming that everyone here has, you've received a copy of the bid plan for downtown. And so for starters, the 2017 report to the Green Bay Planning Commission is the first item that I would share. And it does show Steph has the various maps of the downtown bid districts. And so I represent downtown and Old Main Street. And for starters, I'm going through the 4 key areas that both downtown and Old Main Street focus on. So on the first page of this 2017 report is to share with you our work in the areas of business development. And wanted to make this pictorial just so I don't have to read everything to you, but just to, it does feel like 2017 was quite a while ago. And, but there are a number of the businesses that, you know, the major upgrade to the YWCA was one of the initiatives. New businesses like Aardvark, Wine Lounge. In the lower pictures, you can see there were a couple of properties acquired. American Foods Group, a multi-billion-dollar company headquartered in our city, bought a property, started to renovate it, and they will move upwards of 40 to 50 technology people. They just broke the ribbon, they just cut the ribbon a few months ago on that. And then right behind the library, the Feld Building was acquired by a company that wanted to move 375 employees into the downtown. That's Imperial Supply. I want you to know that the reason they moved that many employees downtown is they have hopes to hire another 200. And they felt that they needed to be downtown to attract the millennials. So in the area of business development, we want to recruit businesses, but we also want to create a vibrant area so we can, you know, not only attract, but we want to respond to issues that businesses might be having difficulties, and so the retention of our businesses is just as important. In the area of marketing on the next page, and again, I will just kind of refer to some of our primary marketing methods, our Summer in the City and Winter in the City. Those are in your packets of information. We came out with a new look. I love downtown Green Bay, working with the Neighborhood Association. They're selling those T-shirts. And we were very fortunate that because of some additional funding to downtown and Old Main Street, we were awarded a $25,000 Stadium District grant. We were able to generate 20,000 more Summer in the City guides during that period of time. They all got put to good use. So we upped the quantity to 60,000 guides, and we didn't waste a single one. They get distributed throughout the county, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. Those printed pieces, the Winter in the City guide just came out this past couple of weeks, and they are in strong demand. We do a lot of social media, a lot of followers on the various social media platforms, and we're very fortunate that the local media, they read our newsletter like it's a weekly press release. We push the button on What's Up Downtown, and we're hearing from a couple TV stations and a newspaper. They want to learn more, and it's just to be a resource, to get the word out. Yep, here's a new business, they're showing up, here's a new event. And so getting media attention, some of you might remember the days when one store after another was leaving the Port Plaza Mall and the newsprint was this big. We finally have a relationship with the news media that things are happening downtown, and our organization, working closely with the city departments and other agencies, we're very fortunate that we've got a good vibe and some good activity right now. I won't speak a great deal about events, but our organization coordinates about 70 events a year. A lot of those are series events. A lot of them take place out on the city deck, and I think have contributed significantly to why businesses say this is a cool place and we want to be here. And so those are a couple of events. We test marketed an event this particular year called the Cafe Crawl. We were hoping a couple hundred people would sign up and check out downtown's coffee shops. We devised a plan for people to show up at 5 or 6 coffee shops on a Saturday morning. That's just unheard of. You normally just need one coffee shop and you're good. We had about 1,000 people that first year. And this past Saturday, we had an estimated 1,200 people buzzing around downtown, getting caffeinated on coffee. And then what we experienced is they came back and had lunch at those restaurants. So that's why we're doing that. From the event standpoint, I want you to know that under my leadership, we're not going to get stale. We're going to keep trying new things. This Cafe Crawl worked. We're now going to be working on an international cuisine crawl, working with restaurants like Angelina and others that have more of an ethnic flair. So we're going to continue to make the event world happening and fresh and unique. On the side of physical improvements, I want to just comment that we have invested in a variety of things. This particular year, we've invested in new street banners, but we pay particular attention to the first impression. The city does an incredible job with the plantings in the downtown district. we have been working at cleanliness. We want downtown to be clean. And so cleanliness and the first impression, the holiday lighting we take responsibility for, and a variety of other lighting programs and cleanliness. So we'll continue to work in that regard. So those are the primary areas that downtown Green Bay focuses on. I mean, it would be very easy for me to say, what are we going to work on now? Fast forward a year and a half to our 2019 plan. We're going to do more of what I just described. I mean, if it's all right, I'll gladly answer any questions for you regarding 2017. And then I do have just a couple of notes regarding what is our plan for the year ahead. So I'll take a breath if you have any questions for me on what you've evaluated. Okay, then what you have in front of you is 2 welcome packets. One is designed for downtown employees. We test marketed this on 375 Imperial Supply employees. When a new employee comes downtown, we want them to make sure they're welcome, they know what to do, they have an arsenal of information, and they're going out and patronizing the businesses. So they were very pleased with that. We also just recently devised a residential welcome pack. Hot off the press, just received it today, and that will be something that as new residents move into the downtown, we want them to feel equally welcome. So in the areas of business development, we really want to take care of new employees coming downtown and new residents. We really believe that residential, there's so much opportunity. It's in the news quite a bit. And because of corporate investments, we feel that we need more inventory. And I know that the city's economic development department is well aware of that and actively recruiting additional residential investment, whether it's at the shipyard, the rail yard, or in the old Main Street district or downtown. We just know we need more. I know especially with Foxconn coming to Green Bay, bringing 200 jobs. In the area of physical improvements and the first impression, some of you may have seen in the news, we bought a gum buster. We're taking care of the sidewalks like never before. If you take a look at Washington Street, it was pathetic with gum spots, and Washington Street is shiny and new, and the gum spots are gone. We've been working on that. We have brand new banners up in the downtown district, and in a few weeks you'll be seeing the holiday banners going up. And we are committed to having a downtown clean team. As the downtown becomes entertainment district on the weekend and a business district on Monday, so we are committed to 52 weekends out of the year to go out and pick up the scraps and the cans and the bottles and the broken glass and the napkins and the pizza boxes. And so these are new things that we didn't do 4 years ago, but it is important because if we are having tens of thousands of more people coming to the convention center, we want them to walk down the streets of our downtown and say, hey, someone really cares about this place. A quick note of the marketing is that downtown and on Broadway and Old Main Street are partnering together for a combined website. We have identified a vendor who I've met over the years at International Downtown Association. They handle the website of 40 downtowns around the country. We love what they do. It's very map-based. The businesses like it. And we need to be marketing together. So we made a presentation to the Broadway board recently, and they like the idea. And so we'll be kicking off a new website early next year. And again, more of the same, Summer City Guide, Winter City Guide, social media, a lot of that is working, so we're going to continue to do that. On the event side of things in the downtown district, going ahead, like I mentioned, the cafe crawl was great, we'll do that. And we're going to start the international crawl, I'm not sure the date of that. But we're going to stick to the series events that really seem to work. The events on the city deck, we want to continue to tweak them and change up the entertainment, but we think that we have a pretty good formula of events, and we're going to continue to commit to that. So that's what I have for you for the downtown district, if you have any questions for me. Sid?
I always do. Thanks, Jeff, for the presentation. These are really good-looking pamphlets, too,
Thank
and
you.
I'm glad to see all 3 organizations, including on Broadway,
Right.
recognized in the brochures as well. Is there a difference between, well, I see we have...
Yeah, those 2 packets that you have, Sid,
Two
one's for
packets.
residents,
Right,
and
but-
one is for downtown employees.
But is there a difference between what's in them?
That I don't know yet, because I'm seeing it for the first time
Oh,
like you.
okay.
But
One says
When you find
live,
out.
and I know the cards are a little bit different. It looks
Oh,
like-
okay.
But yeah, this one says live downtown versus this one says hello new downtown employee.
All right. Ta-da.
the truth is, we want to get them into the
Oh,
restaurants
yeah.
and the
Oh,
shops.
yeah.
So the content will
Yep.
most likely be very similar.
Great. So I was really pleased to see the public art line on the downtown Green Bay. Is that the 7,700 budget item that's
Um,
on that list?
That may be a portion of it. that-
Okay.
But yeah, we do have a commitment to public art. I don't exactly know the figure that will be committed to that, however.
Okay.
And we work closely with the city's Public Art Commission. Our focus on the arts has been a little bit stronger in the Main Street District, the murals,
Right.
and the
Exactly.
development of the Arts District there, but we are equally committed to bringing the arts to the downtown district.
And certainly the Packers Corner helps with that as well.
Sure does, that was a nice addition.
Okay, a general administrative question. Are there any changes in board organization or the relationship between downtown Green Bay and Old Main or the city's role?
No.
It didn't look
There is
like it,
a
but I
management
wasn't
agreement
sure.
between downtown and Old Main Street. We have shared services, so there are no managerial changes. If
Okay.
anything, we beefed up staffing a little bit in the area of social media and graphic design. So we brought on one new full-time employee, kind of focusing on that because there's a lot to do in that area. But
And
our
since
relationship with the city.
That's going to be collaborative, that also.
Right, that'll be a shared
involves both of
employee
them.
with
Yeah.
downtown and Old Main. Yeah.
Okay,
But no material changes to our organizational structure.
okay. And one other question then, or actually, question on the budget for Old Main. At the end of contributions and event sponsorships, there's a little asterisk. I'm an old English teacher, so I noticed things like that, but I didn't see the corresponding.
And I haven't even talked about Old Main Street yet, so I'm about to shift
okay.
gears and tell you a little bit about
Okay,
that.
that's just fine.
But
I'll let you go
well,
with that.
I'll try to come up with that answer.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions regarding any of the downtown materials?
Yeah.
The only thing I was also asked to talk about is if there are any variances to our budget. And the only that I can think of is that the downtown budget received a positive impact of $5,000 during the previous year because of the stadium district funding. That was not budgeted for, and we are utilizing those funds. In the past, it was for additional guides, but we also are using it in the area of events and some business development. These packets that were put together were supported by the funding we got from the Stadium District grant. Would you want to take action on downtown before I start talking about Old Main Street? or-
Yes, please.
Is there any further discussion?
I move to approve the proposal.
Second. Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Petrowski, a second by, is it Jerry?
Yep.
By Jerry Wisniewski to approve the recommendation. Would you please cast your vote?
Unanimously approved.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Jeff? you're up.
Okay, so if I can move on to Old Main Street, and if you would, the summary packet, I'll talk just briefly about the 2017 activities. The header page just talks a little bit about what the organization is all about. There was some good business activity in the Main Street District. 8 new businesses came into the district, a State Farm agency, a cheese company, mainly just taking storage, Metro PCS, an Irish pub, another pub, a ballroom dance facility, and an upgraded restaurant, the Main Street Bourbon Room, and a company, Elite Tent Rental. So that's probably the most business entries to the Main Street District, maybe in 10 or 20 years. And there were some renovations Main Salon, the Art Garage, Nearly New Auto and Truck, Dairy Queen, and Palms Tire. So between new investments and upgrades, there was some nice investment in the Main Street District. On the marketing side of things, again, we're really tandem with Downtown Green Bay Inc. and our marketing platforms. Our staff, obviously not only share office, but you know, we're really working for both of those entities, also in partnership with the On Broadway offices. Special events. As you see, back in 17, we did a Lunch with Morty, we did an Art and Soul event, we did a Mardi Gras event, and some of those events we've tried a couple of years in a row and have decided to shift gears, and that's characteristic of when you try new things, they don't all work. But we are committed to the Summer in the Park concerts and Gallery Night and the Cafe Crawl. And we have a new event called Summer Solstice to kick off the summer events in the Main Street District. I have to say that Whitney Park is really becoming the place to be, both for events and development. And in a few minutes, I'll talk a little more about some of the activities related to progress in that district. Okay, on the next page, physical improvements. In 17, we did a couple of great murals. There was a lot of interest in the Pomps mural, which was Breezen, and then Bo Thomas did a mural on the Mako Financial Building. And so those are just characteristic of some of the physical improvements. We're also equally committed to weed control and litter control in the Main Street District. So that's kind of what I have for you regarding 2017. If I could just make a couple comments looking ahead to the 4 categories we focus on in Main Street. In the area of business development, probably the greatest opportunity we have is the entry of some significant residential progress. The Whitney School is about to be under construction with 23 apartment units and a dozen townhomes. They'll do that on a phased basis, but they hope to break ground on, I think, 6 of the townhomes this winter, and they plan to begin construction in January on 23 of the apartment units. And then Garrett Bader, who did Whitney Townhomes, he is under construction now on 4 more townhomes, and he is hoping to break ground this year on 20 apartment units on Main Street. So all of this is just a stone's throw from Whitney Park. This has been a fun one to talk about, because when I'm able to say that 59 residential units are on their way to Main Street, I would never have believed that 10 years ago. So it's great to see some of that activity, and now obviously we want to leverage that in our areas of business recruitment. While 17 was a good year for recruitment, there's some properties in the Main Street District that need some additional attention. Old Town Crossing, Los Bandidos, the former Farmers and Merchant Bank, some of you might know that as Balance Studio or the WGNR building, whatever you want to call it. And so we have some challenges there, and we will work at those. We were just delighted by a little boutique store that opened, Sunrise on Main, in the Old Town Crossing. We were able to feature them at our gallery night last week, and they were just so pleased. They are so happy to be open on Main Street. I would really encourage you ladies especially to go check out Sunrise on Main. Their mission is very nice, and they are helping women in our community. And it's a resale shop, but a very good quality. On the area of physical improvements, the planter program you see on Main Street, that is managed by us. So we fund that. We fund the planted medians and the holiday decor. And we will be committed to a clean Main Street as well. In the areas of marketing, again, the website is what's hot, and we're looking forward to that. And then a lot of the event-specific marketing that we do as things take place, whether it's new businesses or new activities. Just on the event side, we'll do 2 gallery nights, summer solstice, 4 or 5 summer in the parks, and comedy in the park. So we're mixing, the event world is getting mixed up a little bit in the Main Street District because we continue to try new things, and some budget variances that we had last year were largely because events that we budgeted a fair amount of revenues in Mardi Gras in Maine and the Art and Soul really didn't pan out. We gave them a couple of years. We're going to shift gears and try some other events. So it's been a little topsy-turvy in the Main Street District regarding events, but we're going to continue to work at it. So that's what I have for you for Main Street.
Any questions?
I promise.
The asterisk
The asterisk.
next to Art on Main restricted funds, is that what you're talking about?
Contributions and event sponsorships. Those may well be restricted funds, restricted to particular events. It was in the budget,
Oh, okay.
on the budget page.
Okay, I don't have that right in front of me, Sid. I will gladly look into that for you and get you an answer.
I can manage to pass on
Okay.
the asterisk, so I was just wondering.
Great.
I do appreciate that budget page showing last year as well as the coming year, so that we can see, in part, it makes the point that you're saying about mixing up the various special events, so we can really see how you're moving.
I might remind you that Old Main Street has an organization with about $115,000 annual budget. And that organization could not survive without a shared team. It has leadership, it has an event planner, it has a marketing manager, it has an admin manager, and it has an office.
Yeah.
And I mean, in terms of making a lot happen with a little, it's an organization with a $100,000 budget and has 5 employees. I just want to close by saying thank you very much for the way the Plan Commission, year after year, supports what we do. I have a wonderful group of people who are passionate about the success of downtown, and there's more good on the way. There's more events that want to be here, and you're going to hear about that. But we're very excited about the corporate growth and also the residential growth in both of the districts that I work with.
I would just like to commend you for everything you do and everything you've done
Thank you, Tim.
for this,
Thank you.
for both organizations.
Much appreciated. I will pass that on to my coworkers.
Great, thank you. Is there any further discussion?
I ditto what you just said, Tim, and move approval.
We have a motion for approval by Commissioner Brebner, a second by Alder Corpus Stats. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I would ask that you cast your vote. Thank you. The motion recommendation is approved. Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. Next item is item 3, consideration with possible action on the request of On Broadway Incorporated for approval of the 2019 Business Improvement District Operating Plan.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us out today. I'm excited to share, I guess, some of the progress of On Broadway and I have to get this guy to shake. This way, don't get this way. And so, as you guys know, we kind of, I guess, occupy the near west side of downtown Green Bay. And I think just the nature of our organization is slightly different than what you'll hear from both Jeff and Leah. And so we are a Wisconsin Main Street program. We are a designated program. There's I think we are one of about 35 or so within the state of Wisconsin. And so we kind of operate under a slightly different framework. And in particular, we go by a four-pillar approach that's advocated by the National Main Street Center. Those 4 items being economic vitality, design, promotion, and organization. And so I'll kind of talk a little bit to each of those and what we've been doing and how the bid intersects with that. So economic vitality, that's focused on basically business recruitment retention. So if you've opened a newspaper or turned on the television anytime recently, you've probably seen a lot of exciting things going on in the Broadway District. Most notably, Breakthrough Fuel announced last week that they're going to be building a brand new headquarters. And so that public investment is really critical, but I think before you even get to Breakthrough Fuel, public investment is what's really important as well when you look at what goes on in our districts. And of course, if it weren't for the shipyard, I don't think the Breakthrough Fuel would be building on that site. And so we're obviously very grateful that the city council was willing to jump on board with that shipyard development. And I'd like to thank Director Vonk and the team's efforts for obviously making that project a reality. In addition, some other projects that have come out lately, the Tarleton, so we're looking to, we've got some new owners of the former West Picture Show, which, by the way, for years I've been saying West Picture Show. So that predated me, but I got a lesson when I learned it was West Picture Show. So we're excited to see, I guess, the reactivation of a space that's sat dormant for many years. And then some of the other spaces too. I look at Reed, which occupied all of that retail space along Dousman in the Platten Place building. So that's been a really difficult to occupy space, and they've come in and filled all of that. We've got housing development that came out, and I believe it's got to go in front of council yet for a development agreement, but we're looking at some working class housing to emerge down the rail yard area, and of course the rail yard. And so it's one of those things when you look at new construction, it's really easy to see what's happening. And some of these projects actually, that housing in particular and Breakthrough Fuel, I mean, these are going to be some of the first new construction projects in the district in over a decade. But there's been a lot of redevelopment work that has gone on in the district, most notably in the rail yard, and a lot of those, I think, not that I want to tear off the Band-Aid and look at old wounds, but I mean, Walmart was projected to bring in about $15 million of value into that rail yard site. Now we've already exceeded over $20 million of redevelopment work, and we're just getting started there. So really excited about what's going on there. And of course, the On-Broadway office, if you weren't familiar, very grateful for 23 years of donated space from BMO Harris Bank. But when they closed their drive-through branch, our building, which they've donated again for 23 years, was parceled with that, and they've decided to list that property for sale and open that up for some new development. And so we had to relocate offices, and we decided to move into the rail yard because we liked the activity that's going on there. We felt it was a strong reflection of ourselves as an organization. We kind of want to create that into sort of a visitor center of sorts, if you will, for the Broadway district. And so we'll see a lot more investment into our space in the years to come. And then, I mean, vacancy rates are very low right now. And that's an exciting thing for us, and we think that that's ultimately what's going to serve as a catalyst for additional infill development, particularly now that you have two strong anchor points in the shipyard and the rail yard. And then lastly, I want to touch on the Love Here, Live Here program. Very grateful again for the city's commitment to take a couple of underperforming properties immediately adjacent to our district, because we recognize that a strong residential corridor will only help the commercial corridor. And the city's taken a strong leap of faith and has invested in a couple of properties with some community enhancement funds and some block grant funds, and we're very excited to start to see some private investment take over after that community investment has made its impact. Design, the next stage, and this is a big part of what our bid funds, is lights. We're continuing to extend the lights within the district. We've had a couple of murals go up this year. The Redevelopment Authority recently approved our request to add a pop-up park on some land that's owned by them currently over by 335, and that where the barracks was originally proposed. Just kind of a temporary pop-up park to better utilize that space. And then we have some block grant funding that we're currently holding on to from a parking lot sale that was originally funded through block grant that we're looking to reinvest into more public art next year. On the promotion side, events is a big part of what we do, just like any other organization. Very proud of our Ignite Market, which was recognized by Wisconsin Main Street as the best special event in the state of Wisconsin. This is our second year performing that event, and continues to grow. We took on the 4th of July event this year, and that was a big undertaking for us. And it's kind of, you go through it the first year, you learn, but we feel that we're really poised to make some modifications to that event moving forward to make it even more exciting for the public. Of course, we do the standard things, Farmers Market on Broadway. We've partnered with external organizations like the Hope Land Music Festival. But one of the cooler things we did this year was the Better Block Project. And that was really more of an exercise, I guess, than an event. And it was trying to get people to visualize a space. What if we utilized it in a different way than what it's currently designed for? And so we closed down one lane on each side of Dousman Street between Broadway and Chestnut. We put out some parklets into the street, temporary bike lanes. We dressed up the alleyways to make them more warm and inviting. so that the district feels safe and people can kind of recognize those as entry points in and out of that area. So we were very pleased with the outcome of that event. And then last is organization, and that's been a very significant thing for us because I've been with the organization for a little better than 2 years now, and organization really was our priority. There were just a number of things that we kind of had to get in order, and a big part of that was our financial performance as an organization. We're a little different, as I mentioned before, because we are one of the lowest assessed bids in the entire state of Wisconsin. We're at $1.29 per thousand. State average, I believe, is $2.58. So that basically amounts to $53,000. And as I look at my budget for this year, that's less than 7% of our budget. And so really our revenue is generated through what we do, and that's events. And events and sponsorships and other grants that we apply for. So it's really critical for us when we talk about organization to have a high-performing organization so that we can ensure that that revenue is coming in and that we're being good stewards of that investment when local businesses and other people decide to invest in our organization. So we feel that that is something where we've made a lot of progress. We're very excited about that. But when we talk about, again, a bid, there, certainly, as I mentioned, our mill rate is one of the lowest in the state. It's one of those things that we're starting to have those conversations with businesses in our district to understand kind of what their appetite is for wanting to continue to invest in the district. And by no means am I saying here today that that's, we're going down that road asking for an increase. It's just understanding what the businesses want out of their district. And because they're the drivers behind that, not us. And we're very excited about the fact that when you look at the rail yard development, our bid revenue grew by $10,000 this year. And so that's something we haven't seen in a really long time. And so that redevelopment is really critical. And I suspect as you start to see some of this other new construction, that'll be a real positive contribution. But with that comes more territory to maintain. And so with the rail yard, you're going to bring in Kellogg and Bond Street and connect that. And so that means more streetscape investment. And we're the ones that pay for that. So it's that's going to be a real necessary form of funding as we look forward to some of the new development that's coming into our area. So with that, I guess, we did bring on another staff person this year in the promotion area, so basically event coordinator. That was driven largely in part through the 4th of July and some other events. And when we start to look to next year, our bid proposal has altered a little bit. Historically, we've been very heavy on the hardscapes and some other administrative related things. And we're still heavy on the hardscape, which is going to be, again, physical improvements. But you may notice that we backed away, the bid has, on some of the admin allocations. And instead, we've opted to move some of those dollars more towards marketing. And that's because as we look to next year, if you asked anyone in the room kind of what is the Broadway District brand, everyone would probably have a different answer for you. And so we're really kind of taking a look at that, saying, well, we execute on a marketing level. Where we're not really executing is from a strategic perspective. And so we are actually on Broadway as an organization, not the bid, but as an organization, we are budgeting to bring on a marketing director later in the year next year. And then the allocation of the bid revenue to have some go more towards marketing to help brand the district, to give that individual a budget that they can use to help accomplish that goal. So that's what we're up to.
Thank you.
No questions, Sid?
Any questions?
Not one? Come on.
Make room for the rest of my colleagues, indeed. Thank you so much for what you do.
Yes, we appreciate it.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, if you guys vote no, that's not fair, because you didn't ask me any questions.
Yeah, Brent.
I guess it's not really related, but what are they gonna do with that old post office that you guys were in? They're not gonna, it's protected to some extent, right, or?
Honestly, it's really, they're gonna list it for sale, and I think it's, up to whatever developer comes in and wants to do something with it. It's not a real historically significant property, and it's in really bad shape. In fact, the 2 weeks before we moved out, just all the rain we had collapsed the roof inside. So it's, I don't think it needs to be condemned. It's just, it was a leak. It was a leak that was repaired. And again, BMO's been really good about taking care of that, but it's an old building. And it hasn't seen the type of investment that you would normally see out of a building that's been there for 20 plus years, or 100. So.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hanson, a second by Commissioner Bremer to approve the recommendation. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, I would ask you to cast your vote.
Come on, I'm doing that. I vote yes.
Motion approved.
With my cold finger. It's not working.
Okay, motion has been approved. Thank you. Next item, number 4, consideration with possible action on the request of Military Avenue Business Association for approval of their 2019 Business Improvement District Operating Plan.
Hi,
Hi there.
I think those will stay. I brought the boards and then forgot all my packets. and information. But Matt had a handy little piece here with most of the budget information. So I guess for what we're doing going forward in 2019, the biggest change would be that we have our sign put up. The sign put up, there is still no electricity to it. There's just like a constant snafu of who's supposed to be doing what and waiting for certain permitting, and it's crazy. So now I'm on the phone with them, and they actually know me by a different name, which is fine. So I can say whatever I want to try to get that electricity hooked up. The only budget difference then in our 2017 plan, which Matt asked us to go over, was there was like a $17,000 over budget due to the sign going in. So we had received a $50,000 grant the year before. So that came in 2016, the grant. But 17 more of it, or actually more than 17. 25, I think, more thousand was paid out in 2018, or 2017 to make us go over budget. There'll be more in this year as well, in the 2018 plan, or in the 2018 budget when we finish this year. It should be the remainder of the sign. So all in all, the sign cost us close to 70, or a little over 75,000. And 50 of it was a grant from the city, so that was great. I feel like we did a really good job in our budget. I know Jeff talked about Main Street having a small budget. Ours is that small as well. We're right around 100,000 a year. So hence that we only have one staff. I usually try to get an intern or someone to help through a work study program. We should get a W-2 worker. But some of the things we did, we held the market again, our events. Our main thing, we are not at the point of even break even on the events. It always cost us. So we put in about 200,000, or 2,000, I'm sorry, 2,000 after what all the expenses. Charging the vendors, things like that, and at the end, it cost us about $2,000. Hopefully, we'll break even at some point and make some money that goes back into the district. The owner of the plaza is also the owner of the Sears part, and so the market moved up to that Sears location. And he had something about kids and kids projects that he really wanted to emphasize. And so he said, if you have the market there, you have to have kids projects. I said, okay, we can do that. So my W-2 worker is really good about coming up with crafts. The very first one, so we try to make it a little bit educational. It was about pollinators. So we were at the market and talking about how things grow, and so we had them make a pollinator, which happened to be a butterfly for that, and then had them name some other pollinators. And then we did the Dog Days event. Several of our businesses are pet related, so we try to get those businesses in to participate with the Dog Days event. And then we did a lot of marketing. So the plan from 2017 to 18, the bigger change was adding a lot more social media things. And it is, I could spend all day on social media. I mean, it really is time consuming. We did hire out with Haibu. I don't know that I would do that again, but so they're putting ads out for us in several different areas, places where I couldn't have gotten us, but I think we might go back to seeing how just Facebook works. But still, it gets expensive, even if it's just boosting things a couple times, it starts adding up. So we did go over budget a little bit on that. And I increased, my neighbor wants me to go home.
Sorry.
She's cheering you on.
She is, that's what she's saying. Go, go. I did increase the event funds by $3,000, and I also increased the technology and social media areas by $2,000. I said that right. I rearranged some of the budgeting things as we go on. So we're a newer bid. We didn't really have any event funds versus other types of income, like grants and stuff. So I separated that out, so it might look a little different on the budget from one year to the next. But I gave you a change column so that you could kind of see how I changed things up. And we are going to do a winter market this year. The vendors were asking to continue. Pretty much everyone, unless they are only outdoor, if they have a greenhouse, they have stuff that still continues for a couple months yet. So like potatoes and carrots, squashes, stuff like that will go through a couple months yet. So we're gonna, the Green Bay Plaza gave us a space to use, and so we're doing that in the old alley pool. It was one time Atlanta Bread Company on the corner of Fisk. So we'll be in there. I did bring some little, I'll hand those out to you. You can pass those down for me. So we're gonna just do that every other Saturday on, through the winter. And the one we overlap with the KI one, I think we're gonna turn more into a craft time that day because the vendors have already committed to KI. So we'll have KI be the market that day and we'll be a craft fair. A couple new businesses coming in, the QT, which a lot of people are now noticing, that was a environmental cleanup site, had sat vacant after Tuffy Oil had left it. And now QT, which is, he was actually already in the business, so I didn't, or in the district, so I didn't get a new business, he just moved across the street. So he is actually the owner of the USA Nails that was in that mall right across from him. But he also had a business on Oneida Street in Ashwaubenon, and he's moving that over. So his tea house was in Ashwaubenon. And so he built this beautiful spa inside, and it's sort of on the masculine side. He has a lot of packers that are some of his clients, and so he purposely made it like a more manly spa, and some private rooms too. So, but it's beautiful in there. He did a good job, and I know he's like this close to getting a permit. Kevin might know, but his occupancy, I know he's really close. And we have a couple people retiring. Tier 3 Automotive was a new business coming in. I'm still working with the new owner of Sears and the Green Bay Plaza. I'm trying to identify a place in the parking lot for a market. Ideally, I'd love to have a canopy that said there's a market here all the time. And I think he might let me do that, but he's kind of playing around with things right now. But even just to paint on the parking lot, we can paint, and the city helped me, Aaron helped draw some things out for us to at least present to him to say, you know, this would be a designated space that we can always use. Right now, where we are up by Sears probably won't happen if a business goes in there. They were on a lease until November, so they still were paying for that spot. So that's why everything, you know, I don't think it moved as fast because he wasn't that hungry to get someone in there because he already had a tenant supposedly. We continue to do the median flowers. We're crazy beautiful this year. I know you're right across the street, aren't you? Schrader's does them. They're kind of the only ones that do it. I wish there was a little more competition. We pay a lot for those flowers, and in winter then we turn it to greens, which always look nice. And then we do our cleanup every spring with a group of high school kids that come and help us do a cleanup on the market, or on the Military Avenue. We're participating again in the Small Business Saturday, and then we do an extravaganza, so we do a couple joint advertising events with different businesses. And our marketing, like I said, we're doing a lot more with social media, so we're trying to market all-day breakfast and the best off-price retail are two key things that I think jump out about that district. So we're going to really try to focus on that. We're members of the Visitor and Convention Bureau, so We can do some things with them if the businesses are actually also members. They will let us put their name in a brochure, and we can advertise the district as a whole, but we can also advertise some of those businesses specifically. We're also working on a pop-up friendly program. We hoped it would get pulled off by Christmas, but I don't think it's going to happen. But we'll just get businesses ready for pop-up and advertise it that way. And I'm looking for a grant to help pay for some of that, to get that done. And that's about it.
Thank you.
For one staff person, that's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. You're doing a great
Yes.
job. Great job.
Sid has a question.
At the risk of offending you because I'm asking questions for everybody else, with one staff person, how the heck do you reduce the staffing and operating expenses?
Don't.
I mean, in the budget, you're saying the change is...
Oh, I took out, so we were getting interns and we were giving them a $500 stipend, and they tended to be college students, which really come and offer a lot.
Yes.
The market in jobs right now is so good, we're not getting those kids.
Ah, okay.
So I took it out. It wasn't worth leaving it in the budget, so we always had 1,000 left over. So it wasn't that it really changed. We never used it. It was always in the budget if I needed it. But now I'm using that W-2 program, which is more of a work experience. So I sort of try to mentor the person. Sometimes, truthfully, it's more work than I get out of it. And like I really have to evaluate who we allow to come in and take that position. In my past jobs, I've had jobs where I've mentored low income and things like that. So I know how to work with people, and so I think it's been a pretty good fit, and we've benefited from it. But I just wasn't able to get those college kids anymore.
Here's Henry.
Thank you.
500 was not enough of a carrot.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, the chair would entertain a motion.
Motion approved.
Second?
We have a motion by Commissioner Wespeski, a second by Commissioner Hanson to approve the recommendation. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I would ask you to cast your vote.
Yeah, I know, I do. I just don't know how to make it.
Motion approved.
Motion has been approved. Thank you.
Bravo all.
Yes, congratulations and thanks to all of you. Next item, Director's Report.
Thanks. I just also want to echo my sentiments, business improvement districts. My time at City here, I don't think we've had a time where we've had all of them in organizations running as smoothly as possible. And really, it's exciting to see what they've done in the period of growth. And I just think, also thanks to my team and staff, I think we have really good partnerships right now with all the bids. And, I'd like to continue, so thank you for your support of these. And hopefully keep going what we've got and continue to expand. Quick update, some council actions. As far as ordinances, the PUD for the rail yard was approved through its second reading. And its approval of the last council meeting. And then also the items from your last plan commission that were approved, a bunch of CUPs for the project over on Coffin Drive, trucking expansion, the detached accessory garage over on West Point Road, then the CUP for St. John's Shelter. Those are all.
Good.
Thank you. The date of the next meeting is scheduled for Monday, November 12th, 2018. And that should do it for tonight.
I move we adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion by Commissioner Bremer to adjourn, a second by Commissioner Hanson.
And daughter.
And daughter.
The pterodactyl in the room.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.